Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, it's been a couple weeks since my last video on the Mustangs, so I figured I'd go ahead and do another video on what's new in the garage over here. This is a 1968 Ford Mustang. Now, this used to be a full-on drag car. This is the one that my brother has a video of this car that it's been sitting, for a pretty good while. Motor needed some attention. Here you got a few little fancy little gizmos that let you know real quick it was used for a race car. But I'm gonna go ahead and give you a walk around of the car. Go ahead and crank it up, just kind of show you the way it looks right now, and then as the car progresses, we'll do some more videos of it showing you where it's gonna go from here. But without further ado, we're gonna get right into showing you this car. All right, just gonna show in the trunk now. Seeing the extent of all the rust in here. And if you follow that previous video, you'll see that none of this rust is gonna amount to anything. All this is gonna be cut out. It's all gonna be replaced. The car's got a whole lot of rust in it, but one of the good things, if you see a 67, 68, it's always nice if you're a 5-lug car. There is a lot of rust in this car. A whole lot of rust. There's the fuel tank. Looks like Pep Boy's throwed up under the hood, but it runs. This car is going to start life right now. It's all going to be cut apart, just like the one in the video that you've seen 2 weeks ago on part segment 1 through 5 as of right now. It's going to be all cut apart, and this is going to be a bullet car. My dad has written on the back glass, what does that say? Bad to the bone. I don't know what that says. Fear this, R8 Slayer. Let's just see what this R8 Slayer has under the hood. Whee! Okay, if you've seen this right here, this was the coupe car that had the rust all over it. Now, looking down here, you can automatically tell it's had a firewall put in it. The aprons, the front and rear aprons, both replaced. And when you're cutting one apart, making it a fastback, this is usually where you're going to cut it at. Right up here, and try to level it down with the coupe quarters. This one was a race car, so it had the subframe connectors in it. But it'll probably have a full floor pan going in it by the few more hours, I'd say, probably after 11. But the full rear trunk pan section. This car had good frame rail, so there was no need to mess with any of that. This is the main objective, I guess, is getting this right here into a full structure of a fastback. But you can kind of see everything that goes into doing one of these cars is basically completely cutting it all the way down. If there's any issues with any metal at all, cut it out. $68 quarters here for that one. Got the inner and outer wheelhouse, some front fenders, just a few odds and ends. Of course, some 65 6 fenders, some doors, I believe those are some Scott Drake doors, and some of the Dynacorn pieces here, and another 67 68 fastback top. The video of this car all cut apart. I shot that video out there yesterday. Well, as you can see, in a couple of days, this is the progress that gets done on one of these cars. Now, one thing I wanted to show you is this piece right here. This piece right here is from Dynacorn, and this is the conversion, basically, to convert your coupe over to a fastback. Now, when you order these, you have to order them in the complete side, and they're roughly $1,000 to $1,300. Well, all you really need is this piece right here and the piece that runs down this pillar, and then you can go ahead and cut your coupe stuff off, drill the welds, and then convert it over to a fastback. 68 quarter panel. So 68 car. The 67 will not have that, and will have holes right here for your 2 vents. Has the 68 regular taillight panel, not the Shelby panel. One piece rear section that was already assembled. The truck pan section, the full floor pan with the seat risers. Of course, your filler panel for your back glass. And when you're doing this conversion, you need to make sure you buy this piece here too, because you'll have to have a place for your trunk hinges to mount and also for your filler panel to go. So make sure you don't just buy this outer sheet metal, you also need this inside as well. And going around, there's the other quarter, doors. All welded in. And you can get all this done in just a day. It's going to take a lot of time, a lot of grinding, a lot of cutting, a lot of welding. The fastback roof here is going to be sloped more, where the coupe is up higher and this right here is straight. The fastback will slope down and enter into this. And here's the car that you just saw in the last video. Of course, none of the top was on it. But going over here, looking at the top, without using that inner structure, that's been cut, angled down, and all this rear inner structure has been made out of your 16 or 18 gauge, just whatever you prefer to use. Of course, 16 be stronger. And this, of course, this don't get used. You see that inner structure panel, the outer quarter panel, all that welded in, so there's no flex in this right here. There's no issue with that. Everything welded all the way across there. And that brace along the top, welded on both sides as well. So this car right here, all the structure is pretty much mostly done on this one. Everything on the back was in good shape. Frame rails were good on this car, so just needed all the metal work done. Now on this one, you'll notice the shock tires, engine mount, suspension, everything is factory on this one. All right, looking at the bottom, everything under here is going to be all redone, all in black. Going under the car, it's all painted all the way back. Some people like the red oxide because it looks factory. Like they would have done from the factory, but there's also a lot of people that like, you know, everything shiny. All this under here has got to be cleaned up. All that's got to have color on both sides here and here, of course, when the sides are all done. And you see here all the factory control arm stuff. But that's everything's been done on that. Pretty much not a lot of change. Firewall stuff's been painted. All the firewall section painted on the firewall, and now you see it with the engine sitting in it and the front suspension. Now looking up here, of course most people know valve covers, that's just to test fire and get it running, check everything. All the dress up kit, distributor, all that stuff will be changed out before it's completed. This is just for the test run, getting all that old part shoved on there. Of course you got your front suspension, all the brakes, all that's been installed. All this right here is going to have to be painted. That's just for fitting parts. A lot of times you got to assemble these things, pull them apart and assemble them 2 or 3 times till you get them the way you want them. So we'll roll around to the side. It's coming along pretty nicely. All the wiring and everything's already in the dash. Everything, all the parts up there through the A-pillar on the inside panel's painted. Of course, there's still a whole lot to be done. But when you saw this before, of course, you saw it all the coupe section put on there. All that was cut off. The roof section's made, cut and clipped. So, of course, this car here, this is going to be a bullitt car. So on the taillights, you'll notice it's just the factory taillight panel. But that's it for the update. There's not a whole lot There's a whole lot, but not a lot. There's just getting the engine in there and buttoned up and getting the headers. There's a lot more than what you think you see. Everything takes a lot of time. This one here you've not heard run. We've heard the one over there crank up and fire up, so now it's time we're going to go ahead, crank this one over, and let's hear this one run. All the exhaust is finished up. It's got the long tube headers all the way out there. So now let's go ahead and whip it over and hear it fire up. And of course you can tell it's all in sealer, everything's sealed up, lined up, everything in here is painted. All the gauges, everything's gotta be put in. All the headliner on the top is all put in, it's stretched over. Clips are in for the chrome. Of course you gotta put the headliner in first before you put the windows in, because that headliner's gotta roll around and that helps seal it when you put the window in. But all the brackets back there for all the fastback seats, all that's welded in. This one's pretty close. It's gotten a long way since the last time that I did the video, but it moves under its own power now. So now, there's the clips going along the top there. You've already seen the channel and you're familiar with it, then you know all about this car. But if you're not familiar with the channel, you need to get familiar with it by going to my playlist, checking out this car and a lot of others, and going ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell at the top. Then, anytime I upload a video, you'll be the first to get it. But we're going to be doing a walk around video of this car. Now, the only thing this car is lacking is a driver's side seat. So that is the only thing that you're going to see that's missing in the video. Now, the seat for this car is, I don't know, maybe the FedEx truck got hijacked in Atlanta. But the seat is gone. Don't know when that's going to come in. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out this car, do a tour of it, walk around, and see everything there is to see without a driver's seat. All right, now walking up, looking at the car, you could tell, well, one thing is the color. This is not the original color to the 68 Steve McQueen version. This is the new bullet green. So for starters, which I already mentioned that on the channel, but this is the new bullet green. Looking at the front, you'll see everything that was chrome, headlight bezels, the grille, and the surround, that's all been blacked out. It kind of gives it more of a subtle look when looking at the front of the car. It's not kind of standing out real bad. So that's one thing that's a little bit different, you know, less chrome. Okay. Sorry if the camera's a little shaky. Another thing you'll notice is all the way down through here, that's not chrome, that's been blacked out as well. So, you know, we have the hood, turn signal things, you know, of course. 68, that's one thing you'll notice from a 68. This right here doesn't have the vents. 67 came with the vents, 68 did not. It had this little piece right in here, but that car's not going to get it. You see, of course, everything looks factory. This is a little match you can pick up. Kentucky Mustang, California Mustang, they sell those. Just a nice little protected mat, make it look factory. Nice little subtle things on the car. Go on the inside here. And everything on this car is new. Still a few things left to do on it. Of course, like I mentioned before.
Look, I didn't even peep. What do you see missing from this car right now?
The seat!
Now this is the seat that will be going, the same kind over there as soon as they're located. It does have the rear fold down seat in the back. Everything like it should be. Not a big production video, just a small, doing this in 4K. It's a little bit better detail with the video, but console, you know, got a center painted section here. It still needs to be cleaned up. Got a little piece that goes over top of that. emblem. It says Bullitt. But waiting on that. No seat. Steering wheel, of course, is down there, so do have a steering wheel. But got the original classic gauges. Nice pad on the dash, all the headline and everything. Everything's done. Just, you know. Now, let's go under the hood. And here's a good little shot under the hood. There's still some cleaning, you know, this thing's gonna collect dust while it sits in here. Of course, being stored in here right now, there's no battery cables not connected, but everything's pretty clean. You know, you've got your dress up kit, wires and everything. Everything put where it needs to be. This is pretty much the same type of engine that goes in all of them. You know, small block, 289, 302. You know, you wanna go crazy, you can get bigger. Of course, you go too much bigger and you got to cut out your shock tires. This one's got everything retained, original in it, suspension, shock tire brace, where some of them, you know, there's all the suspensions changed out. Mustang 2, AJE, nice little French shroud. But pretty much everything on this car is what you would see on an original 68 Ford Mustang Fastback. Just little subtle differences that didn't come out in 68, like, you know, engine dress up and, of course, electronic ignition. Of course, it would have had points. So just a few little differences. Go ahead if you haven't subscribed, and subscribe now, like and comment, and I'll see y'all guys in the next video. If you have any questions, be sure to leave it in the comments section. I'll get right back to you on that.